If you don't take care of your employee, they're not going to take care of your customers. Everything's just going to be a transaction. And then the employees are eventually going to burn out and stop caring.
You're listening to Titans of the Trades. I'm your host, Ryan England, author of Hire Better People Faster and creator of the CoreFit Hiring System, a proven process to help growing companies attract and retain only the best. I'm on a mission to revolutionize the perception of the trades and elevate it to new heights. After growing up in a blue-collar family, my passion for making the trades cool again runs deep. If you're a Titan in the industry and want to be on my show, stick around until the end and I'll reveal how you can be my next guest. Welcome back. I'm your host, Ryan England. Today's episode is a treat for me. I love interviewing people. I love hearing their stories, but it's not every day that I get to geek out. And today I got to geek out. So I want you to get ready, take some notes, because David just drops nugget after nugget after nugget. And whether you run a service company or you're in construction or manufacturing, you all have some element of customer service in your business. And David Powers, I think he said he's the special projects director now over at Rooter Hero, but his background in call center management and customer experience, even employee experience, is incredible. It just runs so deep. So I want to introduce on today's show, David Powers, special projects director over at Rooter Hero. David, welcome to the show.
Hey man, good to be here. Good to be here.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to today's conversation. We got to chat a little bit. You are a huge fan of customer experience. And from what I can tell, everybody would say that you're also an expert at it, which is awesome. Yep. And I am incredibly passionate about the employee experience. And I know that there's a way that those two blend and overlap and support each other. And so I am looking forward to this. But before we get to all of that, tell us a little bit about yourself. You've got countless books. You've got podcasts. You've been recognized as a thought leader. Like, there's a lot going on over there, David. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So I'll start at the beginning. I've been working in call centers at pretty much every level since I was 17, which, not to age myself, but that was a long time ago, right? My oldest son is almost 17. So yeah, entire lifetime ago. But every aspect of it, fell in love with the customer service, customer experience aspect of it, right? Fell in love with the help desk and streamlining, making it more efficient without cutting the customer experience, because that's what happens a lot of the times when people try to make a call center more efficient or automate a lot, is it makes the customer experience bottom out, and it makes the employee experience bottom out as well. We can take examples from a lot of other businesses right now that have eliminated voice or made it harder to talk to a customer service agent.
Xfinity, are you listening right now? Because Xfinity, if you're listening, we're talking about you. Sorry, I just had to do that PSA for a second.
No, that's one of the biggest culprits, right? So, and they've always had a bad rep with that.
I want to clarify something. Yeah. Because I know a lot of our listeners might only have one or two CSRs, right? They might have an office manager and a CSR, heck, maybe just even an office manager. They still are operating inside of a call center. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't your credit card's call center where there's 400 agents on the phone. You can have one or two people and still be in a call center. So all this stuff is relevant, whether you're incredibly small or super big, right?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. 100%. I just wanted to clarify that.
So, yeah. And, so a lot of companies have focused more on self-serve than, serving the customer. It's like what we've seen in grocery stores over the last decade or so. There's like ones with only self-checkout.
I was going to say that my prices didn't go down when I started bagging my own groceries.
No,
so
I don't
kudos to the grocery industry for figuring that one out.
No, there needs to be at least an employee discount or something when you use the self checkouts. But
Yeah.
I mean, some people do. Everything's a banana, but it's fine. No, it's just negatively affected the customer experience. And here's the thing: where other companies are elevating the customer experience, like let's use Zappos, right? That's the main example that everyone uses.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're still around. I know they got bought out by Amazon, or we can use Amazon. The more they elevate their customer experience, that creates customer expectations for everybody else. So, and if you're not meeting up to those Amazon expectations, you're sinking down in the customer's mind, right?
Wow.
So, which is sad because right now everything's about efficiency and automating and AI voice bots and self-serve chat bots and everything else, which one of my favorite hobbies that I have is going onto a company's website and breaking their chatbot. So, and I've done it in demos too before people trying to sell us them. It's like, I broke it in 3 prompts. Okay. We're not buying this. So
Yeah.
it's fun, but it's also kind of sad that they're releasing these to be customer facing and that they just break or they give wrong information.
We've got a refrigeration contractor in the commercial space, and I ask him, I go, what's different about, like, why you? Like, you fix refrigerators and fryers and, whatever. Why you? And she goes, it's a husband and wife team that owns it. And she says, you know what? You'll never get voicemail and you will never get an answering center unless it's extremely after hours. She goes, but we answer the phone every single time with an employee. And she's like, that right there is enough to differentiate us in the industry because no one's doing that anymore. No. It's that human connection piece. When someone's having a rough time, they want a human being.
Oh no, 100%, especially in this industry, right? In the home services trades, people aren't calling in because, they want to. They're not calling in because they want to just chat with someone or, I'm feeling a little lonely. I'll call this company and talk. No, they're having like mostly an emergency situation. And in an emergency situation, most people want to hear another human being's voice, right? They don't want to go to a website and fill out a form fill. That's for like maintenance or like something that's really low level.
Yeah.
But if your house is flooding or if your AC isn't turning on and it's 120 degrees outside, or, your heater's not turning on and it's -20, you're not just going to fill out a form fill and send it into the void. So,
because we know what happens with those, right? They go like the black hole that you're talking about, and no one ever gets to them.
No, they're back burner things because everybody assumes that they're just, those smaller, least important, less priority calls.
Can I say something? I feel like we're going to do a lot of public service announcements today about call centers, but this is a pet peeve of mine. I would love your take on this, but I send into those emails and those chats in the void. No one's available right now. If you're going to state that you're responding between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. and you do it within one business day, like if you put the expectation out there, you best well do it.
Yeah. No.
And if you don't think you can, don't set the expectation.
No. Honestly, I mean, form fills, like we have a time limit to responding to form fills or text messages, things like that, right? And it's 5 minutes, right? Do we always hit the 5 minutes? No.
Oh, hold on. You said 5 minutes.
I did. 5
minutes. I love it.
Yep. So we treat them just like, well, with 5 minutes, maybe less important, but just as important as phone calls, right? Because it's people reaching out for business, right?
Yeah.
So we have a team of people. We call them our digital team or our digital monsters, who completely focus on the digital leads that come in, whether that be a form fill or just a blind email or Yelp messages, text messages, things like that, chat. So, and honestly, I mean, it's going up in volume. So, And some of that is the response time that they have, which their target is 5 minutes or less. A lot of the times they beat that, right? It gets a little bit wonky after hours, but when it's like one person on.
And Rooter Hero, I don't know if you mentioned this, but you guys are not a small operation, right? And you're growing way faster than the rest of the industry, right? And so if someone's listening to this right now and they're like, oh, David, I get it. I would love to do 5 minutes, but I can't because I don't have enough tickets up on the board. My techs aren't busy enough. I've got other problems to solve. And 5 minutes or 30 minutes, does it really matter? Like, what do you say to that?
Depends on the medium, right? If it's a chat, if it's a text message, something like that, right? 5 minutes. It's just as important as a phone call. They're literally reaching out to you in a medium that they expect a fast response, right? It's like when you text someone and they don't respond back. Well, that's rude, right? So don't be rude to your customers. That's number one on the customer experience checklist, right? Don't be rude to your customers, and not responding to a text message or a chat is rude. So for form fills, things like that, I mean, you could set a different threshold, 30 minutes, an hour, right? As long as they're being responded to same day. And it pays to look at those too, because sometimes, not often, but sometimes there is an emergency call in there, right?
Yeah.
And it's probably someone who's incredibly introverted and just didn't want to call in. So,
well, that's the argument that I hear. We originally talked about, maybe we talk about Gen Z because they're the new kids on the block that are getting made fun of now and like are don't have the loyalty or the work ethic we think they should have. But the argument is Gen Z doesn't want to pick up the phone and talk to anybody. They would just rather deal with it through chat or text or form fills or anything like that. Yeah. And so I think that's the argument that a lot of people make. And I mean, I think you got to be careful with that. But what are your thoughts?
I think lumping people in to generations and generalizing them based on when they were born is about as smart as lumping them into what star sign they were born under, right? Which it's not, right?
Fair enough.
Each one is an individual. And here's the thing. I've done maybe not a scientific poll, but our employees here who are Generation Z or Zoomers, 80% would pick up the phone to call customer service without, and I don't think they were just saying this to like save their job or whatever, but then reach out to them through chat or email, right? So, and that's a total of like, not a big sample size, but 30, right? Of all walks of life. We have a very, very diverse group here. And vast majority were, I would call them. I mean, I saw one of them the other day ordering a pizza on the phone, which, to be fair, I haven't done in like 20 years. As soon as they implemented the little apps and the little websites where you can order the pizza, I was like, yep, I'm never calling these people again. Yeah. They'll never mishear what I'm saying. Yep. It's just a checklist.
So it's interesting. We do a lot around employee experience, and we actually have people always ask us, hey, when someone applies, how fast should I respond to them? I mean, can I wait a day or a week or whatever? And I always ask them, I say, what's harder to find right now, a customer or a good employee? And they're like, well, a good employee. Great. How long does your call center, how long does your CSR have before they respond on a hot lead, like a water leak or a flood or something like that? Oh, they better be picking up the phone, which within minutes. I go, so why would we deprioritize the thing that's harder to get right now, which is a great employee? Yeah. Because I can't tell you how many times people have been like, oh, it's Monday. I just got 30 applications over the weekend. I'll get to them when I have time. And then you call these guys and they're like, they ghost you because they've moved on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I think customers are the same way. I mean, if I had a water leak in my house, it's not like I just called you and I'm just sitting there waiting.
Oh, right.
Like I called you, then I called the next and the next and the next, and the first one to pick up the phone wins, period.
Yeah. No.
And I think with employee experience, we got to think the same way. Like put ourselves in their shoes for a minute. I mean, you wrote a book about empathy
Yeah.
and how important that is, and being able to walk in someone else's shoes and go, what would I want in that situation?
No.
And I'm sure that even if you owned a company right now, you would not want to wait till some ungodly time for them to respond to you.
No. And here's the thing, the customer experience and the employee experience, as you know, are intrinsically linked. They're married to each other, right? If one goes up, the other one goes up. If one goes down, the other one sure goes down, right? So there's an equation I use in my books and in my speeches and everything else. It's EX equals CX squared. So how the employees are treated is how the customers are going to be treated, doubly so. So if you treat your employees like a spreadsheet, right, that all they are is the numbers on a spreadsheet, or their employee number, you don't know their names, right, or you don't know what makes them tick, first of all, how are you going to motivate people if you don't know them, right?
No, totally.
It's like they're going to treat the customers the same way. Oh, another toilet is backed up. Okay, cool. Right? All throughout the day. And it gets hard for the employees because, like, if they're taking 100 calls a day, let's say, it's the same call over and over again. Even if you serve multiple businesses or services, at the end of the day, it's pretty much all the same call. It is really easy to get disengaged with that, right? Unless the employees are, one, appreciated, and they know they're appreciated, right? Your CSRs, your call center isn't just getting the leftover donuts from the sales meeting in the morning, right? Because that's a big one. I've seen that at multiple companies.
Yeah.
Right. So, oh yeah, we brought lunch. You can have some after these people are done. You can have the leftovers, the scraps, right? And if you like bought lunch for everybody in the company and not just the sales team or whoever you were meeting with that day, and actually thought of the people that are taking the phones or the phone calls, they're going to feel a lot more appreciated. They're going to give a bit more effort into making sure that your customers are taken care of. If you don't take care of your employee, they're not going to take care of your customers. Everything's just going to be a transaction. And then the employees are eventually going to burn out and stop caring.
I think it's like the oxygen mask on the airplane when they're doing the safety briefing. Like, most people don't understand that, because I've asked, like, why do you have to put your oxygen mask on before you help me with mine? Because if you pass out in the middle of helping me, we're both dead.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And we have to treat our people in a way that makes them want to pay it forward. Like, I'm really excited to be here and I really love my job. I have called companies before where they answer the phone and I get off and I was like, if that's how depressed their CSR is, what's the tech like?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to call and cancel. I'm going to look for someone else because she clearly does not like her job.
No, that, and many such cases, right? When you call a company, it sounds like you're interrupting the CSR. It's like, thank you for calling. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just,
I was in the middle of eating my lunch. Thank you. What do you need?
Yeah. Or,
well,
you know.
Let's talk about that for a second, because we're talking in a lot of abstract stuff right now, but I know, I've read this, tell me if this is true, the Rooter Heroes call center, like, your turnover is a number that most would say is unbelievable. Like, it's not real.
Yeah, it's 12%. So
12, wait a minute, 12%. I don't know a single company in service that has 12% anywhere.
Yeah. Our least tenured agent right now has been here for 2.5 years.
Wow.
So, yeah. And it's not that
12% turnover rate. It's clearly lower than most, if not all. What helps you get there? Like, I know we're talking about some of this stuff, but can you give us like one or two action items, like a step, a thing that people can do to go, I want to move towards 12%? Like, is it hard? Is it easy? Help us unpack that. It's
hard at first, right? Because you're getting to know people, right? You're getting to know what makes them tick. You know, anything that you're going to do is going to be hard at first. And then I'm not going to say it gets easy, because it doesn't. But you start talking with people, and I know that's an amazing concept, right? And you just get to know people. you be a bit more flexible, right? Because people change, their priorities change, their schedules change, and you should be able to accommodate up to a certain amount, right? So if, like, let's say with what happened back in 2020 with the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So there was a lockdown. I know some people pretend that there wasn't, but there was, where a lot of people, at least around here, were deemed non-essential and they lost their jobs, right?
Yeah, let's never call people non-essential again. Can we agree on that?
Yeah. It was very, very strange that was like,
That was the word we
verbiage.
chose.
Yeah. It's like, no, you're essential, which means everybody else isn't, which is weird. But we had started a pilot a couple months before 2020, so November of 2019, where we allowed certain people to work from home, right? And so we ironed that out. We got it set up where it was, all you had to do is, log in and take calls. I mean, come on. So, and then we found that the two people that we had piloting it were taking more calls and their booking average went up. So, which was great. So less distractions, blah, blah, blah. So when March of 2020 hit, my gosh, the anniversary was last week, wasn't it? We just rolled it out for everybody and it worked. It helps that I have a pretty nerdy background and I used to play World of Warcraft back in the day. And as a guild leader, which you had to like run an entire thing for 40 people and coordinate schedules and keep them motivated and keep them focused on a single target. So that skill came in handy during that time where we went completely digital and almost completely remote. We did have a few people left in the office, but they were separated like by row and other things, which is weird. Like plastic wrap and masks and everything else. But we found that there was no drop in productivity, right? People were happier. People weren't late anymore because, there's no traffic from the kitchen to your living room or your home office. So
yeah,
there you go. And right now we're hybrid, right? So we have a few people that work full remote, but it's stat-based. And then we have people that come in like 3 days a week and work at home 2 days. And then we have a few that they're full-time in the office by choice.
Right? Yeah, not everybody's cut to work from home or has a home situation where they can do it. So I like the hybrid, allowing people to do it. But let me ask this question. So you let people work from home. You saw their numbers go up. I would imagine that Root or Hero, how many employees do you guys have?
Total, like including technicians?
Everybody.
400-ish.
So 400 employees, you guys probably have some pretty good tech, some pretty good ways to track and make sure that the CSRs are doing their job. Not all the smaller guys can say the same thing, right?
Depends on what they're using for software, right?
Okay.
So if you're utilizing Service Titan, and I imagine the other CRMs have this too, on Service Titan there's something called the Office Activities Report, which you can run or have scheduled to be sent to you. And I had it being sent to me every 2 hours, right? Which might be a little crazy, but it is what it is.
It's all right. Your passion runs deep, David. You love this stuff.
I do. But so you can see what everybody's doing at every time. And then if you like, Service Titan doesn't have the ability, but if you know Excel at all, right, you can turn it into like a line graph of what everybody's doing and you can see the dips, right?
Yeah.
And most of the dips are when they go to break, right? So, or lunch, stuff like that. But you can track everything in real time. You can utilize like Slack or Discord, especially if you have younger people in your crew. You probably want to use Discord. They're most likely already familiar with it. And it's just a chat where you can check on people, right? And chat with them and be part of the community, because that's what a call center or a company is. It's a community of people with a goal. right? You don't want to get cheesy and cliche by saying family or anything like that, because, you don't let family members go if they, are not.
Well, and not everybody likes their family. So from an
Right.
employee experience side,
Right.
maybe they don't want to work with their crazy family.
Yeah, that's true. But it's more of a community than anything else in every sense of the word.
So what I hear you saying is it's give them the autonomy to do this stuff, empower them, but still double check, still have the reporting system in place.
Of course.
If your calls are down or the board's not full, your texts are twiddling their thumbs every once in a while. I don't think it's unreasonable to say, let's look at the call log and see how we're doing. Are we answering? Are we converting? And fixing 100%. Those things to keep everybody moving forward. And I love that you said Service Titan. I mean, I've been on their show. We partner with them. I mean, what they're doing over there, yes, it does take a little bit to get going and to get it adopted. But once you're in, you're like, where's this been my whole life? It's an amazing platform. And having that reports and actually looking at it, like you did it every 2 hours. I mean, some people don't look at them but once a year.
Yeah, no,
that's
true.
What happened last year? We got to be more on top of it than that.
Like I have, and this is kind of embarrassing for me, right? I have a smartwatch, and the Service Titan has alerts where, if someone books a call, you can get an alert, right? If someone dispatches a call, you get an alert. If someone does this, you get an alert. So my wrist is kind of tired already, because every time someone books a call or doesn't book a call,
I love it.
I get a notification on my wrist about it.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So, which is maybe a little bit crazy, right? But I always know what's going on with the call center.
I think that's great.
And then,
well, hey, I've got one last question before we wrap up for you. And it's something that everybody's talking about right now. You mentioned it earlier. You talked a lot about what not to do, but the reality is artificial intelligence, AI, and automation are there. Service Titan is starting to do more around automation and help with some of this stuff. I know that you cannot be in the industry right now and not be thinking about this stuff. But I also know how important the human element is, especially in the call center. So just more globally speaking, thinking about just the service industry, where do you see AI and the automation, all that, being able to further empower call center and customer service reps and being able to give them support without replacing them? Like, what are you seeing out there? What are your thoughts?
I think the best thing for AI to be utilized with is assisting the agents on the call itself, right? With either like pop-ups for like agent assist, right? Where it will give them the next part of the script, or maybe rebuttals to offer if someone's kind of wishy-washy, right? Speech analytics are a huge thing that AI can help with. Call grading in real time. I know a lot of call centers, they grade, if they grade at all, right? Especially in this industry where it's not much of a thing. They grade maybe 3 calls a week per agent, which is like less than a percentage point, really.
Yeah.
So, but it can grade each call individually in seconds rather than whatever the length of the call was that a human would do it, which can identify trends, not only with your call center performance, but you can use the transcripts from those QAs to augment your marketing. You can use the language that your customers are using to describe the service or the issue and use that in your marketing. So
that was a twofer right there.
Oh, I know.
That was awesome, David.
Stuff away. But
are there tools that you're seeing that are doing this better than others? Because I know Service Titan has a huge ecosystem of integration partners. Is there someone out there that you're seeing is doing the real-time analytics, being able to give you that kind of those word clouds of what people are using and showing you some of the repeating patterns of what your customers are saying? Is there a platform or a tool that you've got your eye on?
Yeah, there's one, and it's the name of the company is Auto QA, so OTTO QA, and it's owned by Thomas Laird, who has a outsourced center in Pennsylvania. So it's outsourced, but it's not offshore, right?
Okay.
Now, they don't specialize in the trades. They have multiple contracts from a bunch of different industries. But this one piece of their ecosystem is the most robust scoring system and transcript system that I've seen. So with that, and tied into your CRM, because you can integrate almost anything into ServiceTitan now with the API, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. All it has to do is, and it integrates into Dialpad, which is what ServiceTitan uses currently, right? I know that's going to change once they go completely over to Contact Center Pro. But right now, it can integrate directly into your Dialpad, which is what Phones Pro uses, or it can just integrate into ServiceTitan itself, right? And the more data points that you have, the better off you're going to know what's going on with your company and your customers and your employees. If one of your employees is having a bad day, it's going to show in the QA scores, right?
Wow. So, and this is doing it almost real time, correct?
Yep.
So before lunch, you could come up, sit down with your CSR and say, hey, what's going on?
Exactly.
And have some empathy and have that conversation, create some human connection,
100%.
create a better employee experience, not because you're observing something or you're being subjective, because the data is telling you.
Exactly. And
cool.
It is much better to work off of data with emotional intelligence, right, than just being emotional about things. So, because that doesn't really result in anything. But if you have the data to back it up, and you have emotional intelligence, right? You can make that human connection using the data. Now, if you just use the data without the emotional intelligence, well,
you weaponized it. That's what happened. You weaponized the data.
And you don't want to do that. Or if you want to keep people and not have a 60% turnover rate, mix it with the emotional intelligence. Talk to people. See what's up.
Yeah. Oh, such good stuff, David. We could keep talking about this forever. I love that you not only look at the technical side of running a call center or connecting with customers, but there's that emotional, that empathetic side of being able to connect with a human being and understanding that AI and technology has a role, but it's not to replace, it's to equip.
Right.
I love that. Hey, if people want to maybe kind of cyber stock Rooter Hero, see what you guys are up to, or if they want to learn more about David Powers. And by the way, we didn't even get into this. He's got books, he's got podcasts, he's got all sorts of stuff out there as resources. David, how do people get a hold of you? How do they learn more? How do they follow you online?
So the easiest place and probably the best is LinkedIn, right? For me. For Rooter Hero itself, I'd say our Instagram is pretty good, right?
Okay.
And that's just at Rooter Hero. I helped set it up and then passed it off to Kat, who was our social media manager. But it's fun. We do fun things on there. A lot about the company. My personal podcast about customer experience, company culture, things like that is called CX Riot Radio. It's like a geeky punk rock version of customer experience. Very, very DIY, which I think most things should be. And because the more you complicate things, the less effective it gets. And, but yeah, LinkedIn is the 100% the best place.
Awesome. David, thank you so much. My brain is churning right now, and I'm sure others are as well. Check out that CX Riot Radio. I listened to a couple of David's things, and he can go on some really good rants and really get you to shift your thinking and maybe even put some things in place that not only will transform your call center or your business, but also your life. This is amazing stuff. Thank you so much, David, for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me on. It's been awesome.
Ryan England here. Thank you so much for listening to Titans of the Trades. If you're a titan in the construction, manufacturing, or skilled trades industry and would like to be a guest on my show, please visit podcast.corematters.com. If you found value in this interview, would you share this episode on social media? Just do a quick screenshot on your phone and share it with a friend or post it on social. And if you know someone that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag Titans of the Trades. I love seeing your posts and guest suggestions. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, click the subscribe button. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show and get me one step closer to solving the labor crisis facing the industry. Want to know more about how we're doing that? Go to our website or follow me on LinkedIn. Thanks for listening.